Alright, so another exciting video, and in this video we are going to start adding CSS and beautify this boring plain page. Before we start doing that, what I have done is created an images folder within the assets folder to show you. Here I'm gonna hit Control B. I'll bring the Explorer, and then you can see the assets folder. Within the assets, I created images folder and dragged a couple of images. So one is the hero image that's gonna go as the background. It's gonna go as the background, like the big giant image. Then you have your logo, and then three more images that are gonna go here respectively. So mobile, PC, and whatnot. So do that before start writing any code. So I'll get this out of my way, and I'll hide the Explorer. And what you can do is bring up style.css. Style.css is a global kind of style file, and that's in your root folder. And to show it, let's minimize this. It's right here. So this is where all the styles are going to go. So I'm going to click on that, and we'll minimize this to save some space. So let's start adding the hero section, because it's a hero section. So always start with comments. Comments are good, because if you're working on it after, say, 10 centuries, you want to make an update so you would know what is what. So that's the hero section, and I'm going to start with a hero class. I'm assuming you guys know a little bit of CSS, so I don't have to explain the dot and the hash and the whatever. So let's give it a height, and what I will say is make it 100. Means nice and tall. Take the full width, and there you go. Everything disappeared. No, actually, if you look, it's right here, but we just took that height. VH, it's a relative length unit. And it's a percentage of the full viewport height. So they're good because they can scale better. So when you go on different devices, they will scale very nicely. And if you were to use something like centimeter or millimeter, those are fixed, and it won't look very nice. So we're just going to use VH. There's also VW, which is for width. So now we're going to make this container nice and flexible. And we're going to say display flex. I'll do that. Now you when you want to design your site, you want to make sure that it works on older browsers, and these CSS properties, you can call them, you might want to use something that will are supported by other browsers. So how would you know, for example, that you need to use another prefix? So what you can do is go to shouldIprefix.com, and I'll type in, say, this flex property, flex. So it shows you flex box. So it says that you need to use these, which is for old Safari and IE10 and the new Safari, all of those. So you can just take this entire thing. You know what, we'll just take this entire thing, and just gonna paste it here. So now it will work on older browsers as well, and you will be safe. So that's the website you want to use, shouldIprefix, and it will tell you what CSS prefixes you need. Now with that done, let's center the text. So we'll say justify content center. If I save it, alright, now you won't see it, but as we start adding, it will work out very well. And then we can say align items. Align items is basically for aligning items across the flex, across the cross axis of the flex container. So if your flex box is going this way from left to right, then it's going to center it nice along that axis. So as you can see, it was going this way from left to right, so it's nice and centered. So that is done. And what do you want to do? We want to align our text. We'll say center that, and see how the text got centered, nice and centered. And how about now we add the hero image? I know you guys have been waiting for this. Background image. So what I'm gonna do, I'll say Earl and assets, images, and hero image. There you go. Alright, so now as you can see, the image is repeating within its container, and that's kind of ugly. You don't want that, but we'll fix it. We'll fix that. So what you can do is you can say background size cover, make it a cover image. There you go. So now it's not like that. And how about we also we center it? So we can say center in both axes. There you go. It's nice and centered. And as you can see, the text is dark. So just that's because of our background image. So that's a personal choice. If your image was white color, you might leave it, but I'll just say color white smoke. Smoke it. There you go. It's still still not too good. So what I can do is maybe give it some gradient, and we can use a linear gradient that we can say, you know, goes from dark to light or something like that. So I'll just shift this, and then I'll say a linear gradient, and we will give it some color. RGBA means give it some alpha as well. And I have these, experimented with these, and you can experiment with yours. So we say go from this to that, so it goes black, go from white to black, basically. That's what we're saying, with an opacity of 0.5. so watch, there you go. So as you can see, we're saying go from white at the top and all the way to black at the bottom with an opacity of 0.5. So now the text is a little bit more visible, but obviously you can if you want to change this to your preference. So now the one thing I would do at this point is maybe see how it's going to look on mobile devices. So if you remember from previous video, we can do that by hitting F12. It's going to bring the developer tools, and I think if you hit Control Shift M, it's going to go mobile. As you can see, that's how it's going to look like on iPhone X. So I mean, I'm okay with the image. Let's go landscape, portrait. So what I see is this text is large on mobile device. So we might later on we will have to add some media queries to make it a bit smaller, I would say, but I will leave it for now. So again, the shortcut is Control Shift M. Now you're going to go back to desktop, and we're going to hide the developer tool. So now let's fix this text, because right now it's just plain text. So we're going to say within the hero section there's another class, hero inner. If you guys remember, we added that, and there's h1 tag, right, which is the heading, and we want to say font size, make it, what do you say, 3 EM. And if I save it, there you go. And later on we're going to change the font family. I'll show you guys how to do that. And what I want to do also then is the h2 tag. So I'll say hero within the hero section, within the hero dash inner, there's this h2, and do we want to change the font? Let's see, font size, can I do 1 EM? If I save it, No, that's how about 2? That's kind of same as before, but you know what, I'll leave it for now. We'll play with this. Yeah, maybe that's better. I don't know. So now with that done, let me be lazy, if I may, copy this, and what I will do is now we're going to do the intro section. Now intro section is this section, so we're gonna start fixing this, fix that. So we gave it a class of intro, and I will say what do I want to do? I want to do the logo. So what I want to do is give it a content URL, and what do we got? We got assets, images, logo. Hey, there you go, you got a nice logo. And remember, we used 1 row for this, if I remember. So here is the intro section, and we use a row and just 1 column, so automatically you get it centered. That's a trick you can use to nicely center your stuff. Now definitely there's a paragraph, and we want to see how it's so tight against the corners, and I don't like that. Give it some padding. So let's give it some padding, left, right, top, bottom. And how about this image? Do we need to align this? Do we need to? What if I did that? I don't know, that didn't make any difference. I don't know. So if I come here, I can, I promise. You see how the image is staying centered and it's keeping its relative position, the font. And that's our smallest breakpoint. And look at the image on the top, it's scaling as well. Very nice, very nice, buddy. Alright, so that's that, the intro section. How about we fix these ugly boring icons? So what I can do is I can say I gave it the ID of mobile, if I remember correctly. Content. And what do we want to do? We want to say URL, assets. And what do we want to say? We want to say images, and we want it to be mobile icon. Save. There you go. How about laziness take over at this moment in time, and then I can do the next one. Desktop. What's that? What do you call it, buddy? It was PC. There you go. What about this one? This one is going to be web, and then this one, I think it was called web. Well, look at that. So you got your icons. You ignore the footer. We'll fix that. Alright, so with that done out of the way, let's fix the footer. So the footer has to stay at the bottom. Currently, I'm sure if I go to another page, which I don't, this thing is just gonna go up. Basically what I mean is, depending on your content, it will move up or down. Footer, come here. So let's what do you say we give it some height, because right now it's you know, there you go, it was very thin, and we'll give it some line height, and we'll just do the same. There you go. So that's nice and organized, and we will give it a background color of slate, or slate gray. Okay. So, and how about some, I like white smoke, I don't know why. And why don't we move this to the center? And you know what to do? The answer is text align. There you go. So that fixes that. And let's take a look. Let me maximize this. Ooh, that's gonna be in your face. So that you got that text. It's nice. All right, so let's go mobile. F12, Control Shift M. All right, so that's how it's gonna look like. My virtual iPhone X. I don't have a real iPhone X. Too sad. All right, so this is bothering me. I mean, let's see. So the logo is pretty big also. Let's see if we can fix some of this. Right. So you come over here. So the way to do that is, maybe I'll just do it here. And I can add some media queries. So I'll start with a heading, media queries. Right, so what do we want to say? We want to say for screens only, not only, less than 600 pixels, right? There you go, that's your media query. No, I'm just kidding. So we can say then at media and we can say max width of 600 pixels. Right, so if you come across a screen of 600 pixel, then or less than that, then you know do these. So to show maybe a simple example, I can say red. Oh, how about I say star color red. So basically what I'm saying is everything, right? Star means everything on the page. So as you can see, everything went red because, you know, it makes sense. We are that screen size. Now I'm just gonna go responsive and I'm just gonna increase this. You see that? That's cool. So if you wanna win the most ugly website award, you can do this kind of effect on your website. So as you can see the top. So I'm at 636. As soon as I hit that breakpoint, it turns color, or that media query actually kicks in. So that's what we're gonna do. And don't use red colors on the website, it's just ugly. Alright, so what do we want to do? Well, what I want to do is save this, and what I want to do is, maybe this is too close, so why don't we maybe hero inner, give it some hey, margin top. What if I did this? Sorry, that's the text I was talking about. So this text was very low, and if I comment this, so the way to comment is Control K and then C. If I hit it, so you see how it's at the bottom, and honestly this is a personal preference. I just want to move it to the top. So to uncomment, Control K, Control C again, you'll remove the comment. So as you can see now it moved up. This is just a personal thing. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you should. And then what I can do is fix this giant font that's you know, killing me right now. So I'll say this H1, and we might want to tone it down a bit, buddy. There you go, that's small. And you could go more, but what the heck, right? And what else? And this H2, I will you know, copy and paste, and maybe, just maybe, over we go. So that's a little bit more small. Oh, I think it's the same. That's what I did, because I kept it 1.5. I don't think so I need this then. Yeah, I don't need that. So this is regular. I mean, this is for mobile right now. So okay. And then also this intro section, we might want to, let's see if we can fix the font size. Font size, and I don't know, I just played around with this and I thought this font size was better. There you go. And then what about, do we need to do any padding? Maybe we can, maybe we don't have to, I don't know. Let's see. So if I do intro p padding, maybe we should give it 25 pixels and then 20 pixels. Would that work? And what about this hero? You know what, I should, just for brevity, we'll change these. We can say intro services dot services h2, and maybe change the font size. How about that? I think that's a little bit better. I don't know, let's see. So the other way you can do these things, you don't have to come save and then change save in the CD effect, is I can select this font, and I can come here, right, click here, then I can say font size 1.2 em. See how that changes? So you can do it that way as well if you so prefer. So it looks like that font, you see how I said 1.2, that didn't take into effect. So let's see why. So if I go to intro, that's the intro class, within that we should have the services class, and we don't. I don't see that. That's why it's not taking effect. So if I add that, there you go, see it changed. So that was just a good way of actually seeing, you know, why things might break, or you might be making changes but you're like, why is it not changing? So I think 1.5 will be good. There you go, that's not too bad. So that was just a very nice debugging session. All right, so now, so we are looking good. I'm gonna go mobile, and as we go small screen, it should break. All right. Okay, so now let's fix this font, right? So the way to change it is you can go to lovely Google Fonts. And here you can pick whichever font you like. So I mean, for mine, I chose Railway, right? So that's the one font I like. So once you like a font, you can hit the plus button and it's gonna get added. Then the other font, I think I'm gonna go to is PT Sans, and I'm gonna hit the plus button and they get added. So now what you can do is hit that toast. It'll give you your fonts, and you want to see here the load time is fast, because I'm not choosing any special like bold or italics or those kind of things. If you do that, then that will increase your load time on your site. So if I go, for example, add bold, as you can see now it's moderate, and the more you add, the more it's gonna add to your load time. So you want to be cautious of that. It's just gonna make your website load a little bit slower. So you can either import them in your CSS just by taking this, and I'll control C that, go to the top of my CSS file, I'll just add it here, I'll save it. It's not going to change right away because you need to actually go and then add the you need to specify the font family. So for example, for this H1, so it was the hero, here's the H1, and what I can say is font family, and we can say railway, and then you want to give it a fallback. That's the fallback in case. There you go, see how it changed? So the fallback is just in case this fails, then you can always load the other one. And how about we change this bottom one to, so I'll say hero and hero dash inner H2 and font family, and I'll give this one PT sans, and then we will say, you know, give it a fallback. So right now that's what it looks like. If I refresh, it sees much better. And then you can go ahead and change it anywhere else. So for example, this intro section, that's very ugly font, so I might come here, I'll say family, and we'll say PT sans, and again always give it a fallback font because it's much better. So you can definitely go and change whatever you want your font. And just to, I guess, show you if the font actually took any effect, you can choose any one of these, and as I remove it, you can see it goes back to sans or whatever the default font is, the browser, but when I hit it, it selects it. So there you go. Now that's your site, and definitely you can change the background image, the logo, and you can add more sections. You can add another row below it if you have more things to say. But this is how the hero or the front page is, and then we are going to start adding, I guess, menu and more pages. So I'll see you guys next.